What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Flying Brown's Garage. So today, in this video, I'm just going to start off by saying my computer got hacked and screwed up a whole bunch of stuff. Took a whole bunch of my videos. So a lot of the video on this truck was lost. And I am upset about it, but it is what it is. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to walk you over everything I've done for part 2. And then we're going to get to where I've left off. So, it's kind of the best I can do. And with that being said, let's get into it. Alright, so here is a peek what we've done so far. We got the temperature gauge and the oil gauge, oil pressure, gauges hooked up. I have not hooked up the volts yet. I just hooked up those two for when I fire it up. It gives me some kind of reading on what the engine is, temperature, and I want to know what kind of oil pressure I got in this truck. We changed out the clock spring behind the wheel, and then I built me a homemade turn signal lever out of a bolt, chrome rod, and a vacuum cap. We made a custom door lock pin for that side that I have to get put back in place because it dropped out. We also built homemade door panels out of wood, stained them, urethaned them with strap, pull strap, a armrest, and then the window cranks I harvested from the Dodge van on this side too. Also bought some new door lock pins because I only had one. Installed the little I guess you'd say blind spot mirrors. Also had made a custom seat frame, which I'm disappointed that I got that that footage is gone, because that was actually a good little build right there. Built a custom seat frame for these 50/50 bench. And then what I did is I came through and took some Explorer buckles that fit these old Ford seat belts. Luckily they were interchangeable for that long. And I took the GM buckles off of the seat, replaced them with the Ford buckles on each side, and left a GM one in the middle, so we have all 3 buckles. Also, we did a bed liner inside of the bed, and it's drying up really nice. Came through and took all the paint that we could get off all of the wheels. So now they are white with chrome lugs and centers on all 4. They'll need some paint eventually. Also, we welded the bumper back on because I got it and the bumper was cut off. So all I did was weld it back into place and secure it down. So I also polished that up, straightened it up the best I could. I have so many parts to get for this truck, I'm not buying a bumper. It really don't look bad, and it'll work. I'll have our other 2 wheels over here. It had been done. Get you a better look at this door panel on this side. We also had come through here and patched up all the floors that were messed up. Come through here and coated this with a bed liner as well. I will be later on doing a carpet in here, but for now I just have everything placed. We like these seats in here because they fold all the way forward. So if I'm driving and I'm only one in here, I got a table or something if I need it. It's actually pretty neat. So I think it's cool. I like them, especially for, you know, it's the only bench I had. It really looks pretty decent in there. And of course, you know. Oh, we also installed this cab light. It's a really bright cab light with an on and off switch of its own. And made me an antenna with the existing equipment. So just kind of cut an old antenna off, filed it down, bored that hole out here just big enough to force this thing down in there. Result gives me an antenna. So now under the hood, we had come through here and cleaned up all of the connections, grounds, positive leads. All of our battery connectors have been cleaned up. So the only problem we're facing now is the solenoid is now stuck on, which I think that's bad and I need to replace it. And our starter is still not turning over. I'd already rebuilt it, which I will be cueing that clip here soon, because I actually still have that one. I took it apart and cleaned it up, rebuild, put it back together because it was full of dirt. Still wouldn't turn, so we're going to take it apart again one more time, try to clean it a little better, and maybe throw some grease on the ends where it, you know, pivots and it spins. Maybe that'll help it spin a little better. I don't know. But we're going to attempt it before we at least buy another one. So I am going to go ahead and start working on that. But I'm going to go ahead and cue y'all from where we left off in the video that I still have. So with that being said, cue clip.
Cheese and rice. I can't with it.
Alright, we are now ready to try to fire this thing up. Harbor Freight shit. Garbage. Guess we'll continue to do it with a screwdriver. I'm still not getting a good connection. What the hell? Wrong. Went through all the connections. Alright guys, well, I've been monkeying with this thing for quite a while now. Figured out that the solenoid is stuck. So, don't use and don't buy these garbage Harbor Freight starter switches. They're no good. They come with a lower gauge wire than this. I think this is like a 16 gauge that I actually had swapped out. But I think I had the camera on when these melted. So it's no good. Do not buy it. Get the one from the parts store. They're better. Or order one online. The ones with the black cases with the triggers on them are way better. I will say I think the starter's stuck too. Because what I did was at first I had my wire disconnected that goes from the solenoid to the starter, and I hit it on the battery and I got nothing, so I put the old one on there just to see if it was the connection or the wire, and I came up here and hit the, you can kind of hear it do a little bit but nothing. So I think next step is to come down here and remove the starter and figure out what in the hell is going on. I'm not sure, but I guess we're going to take it off, take starter apart, and figure it out. Alright, we have our starter removed, which is really simple in these old Fords, especially the 351. Very simple, easy removal. It's 2 bolts, and they are facing the transmission. So your threads are actually going this way, but and it's just one lead that runs up to your solenoid. So very simple, easy removal. Now that we have it removed, we have it up here sitting and ready to be cleaned up and disassembled. So we are going to do just that. Alright, got a little ahead of myself and forgot to cut the camera back on, but got a rebuilt starter here. I went through and wire wheeled it inside and out and cleaned it up, and it spins over freely now, and the Bendix is working properly. This is how much dirt fell out of it. All of that. Look at that chunk there. And then all this stuff on the side, everything that's under it, all came out of the starter. So that's what was binding it up, and it makes a lot of sense. So we're going to go ahead and get this over here to the truck, reinstall it, and see if we have any difference. Alright, we got our starter back in and hooked up. It actually looks like a remanufactured starter back there. Looking good. Got our wheel and everything back on and tightened down, and we're ready to try to start this thing again. So, alright, let's check our voltage real quick. Make sure the battery still has enough. 12.79, I'd say that's enough. Got everything hooked up. See what she do. Really? I don't understand. It's just dead, I guess. Well, starter don't work, so I guess I'm pulling it back off again. So much fun. Get an old truck, they said. Well, our starter's not working, so I guess it might be because it didn't get greased up. I don't know. I'm going to take it apart one more time. Try to lube it up, see if that works. And if not, I guess we're just going to have to buy a new or a used starter, because I just don't have another option. These starters are pretty basic. They're a lot like a lawnmower starter, Briggs & Stratton, Kohler, or the Honda. Anything without the solenoid on the side of it, it's a lot like that, except the Bendix is different. There's a armature on a spring that actually is one of the magnets inside of the starter, and when it's activated it sucks it down. I'm wondering if that's what's going on, or the magnets just ain't working. It's kind of what it sounded like. But I'm going to try one more time just before I call it dead. And I'm going to do that tomorrow because I'm not pulling it out again tonight. So I will see you guys at some point out here again on this tomorrow. Well, unfortunately, our starter is cooked. I took it apart again and lubed up the ends here and made sure everything was spinning freely. It will not. It just makes a clicking noise. She's done. I at least attempted to revive it, you know. Now I feel better about buying another one. I at least attempted, and it's just a no-go. The wiring around the magnets are pretty toasted. So, unfortunately, we're at a standstill for getting this thing running, or at least trying to. So I want to keep going while I'm waiting on parts and waiting on money and all that stuff. So we're just going to, I guess, continue to just work on what we can. I did forget to show y'all that I don't know if the exhaust is in the videos I have, but I did do the exhaust from there to there because that's all I had. I'll do more later, but I guess what we're probably going to fall back and do now is come back here and make some, we're going to make some brackets to hold our tailgate on. Alright guys, fabbed up some hinges. For the truck, for the tailgate. Use this side. And this side. Works good. So now that that's done, and I have a tailgate now, I don't have to worry about it falling on the ground. Shuts really tight, but it'll be okay. I think we're going to go ahead and start drawing our templates out for our speakers and our doors. Yeah, I'd like to get that done. So let's go ahead and get our templates cut out for our speakers and get our speakers placed in the door. Alright, 1 out of 2 of our speakers are in the door. I put it in the middle so it don't get hit by anybody's heels or anything, and then it gives me access to kind of be able to service things up here without taking the whole door panel off. I want to do the same on the other side, but I did, someone had an existing hole here for wire that was run through, so I'm continuing with that. And yeah, so we got 1 out of 2. I'm gonna call it a night, and tomorrow I'll come back out here and put the other one in and run the wire. But I do have it ran up through the boot here and behind the stuff, so run me one more, couple of dash speakers, and a speaker behind the seat. That'll sound pretty good. See you guys out here on it tomorrow. A quick second and pause video and ask y'all to help me with something. I need y'all to do me a favor. Go down and hit that subscribe button. Smash it. Smash that bell. Go like the videos. You know, tell me where you're from. Say hi. whatever. Ask me questions. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subs, and I cannot do that without your guys' help. So definitely go subscribe. Check out Facebook, the Instagram, the Snapchat, and now we have a TikTok. You can just go type in Flying Brown's Garage and you will find me. All the profile pictures are the same. It's easy to find. And yeah, give me some likes, give me some subscribes, and all that good stuff. I'm trying to build this, and I can't build it without everybody's help. So, hope you guys are enjoying the videos. You know, got a lot of good videos coming, constantly coming, and I'm constantly sourcing new projects. So, stay tuned, and with that being said, let's get back to the video. Alright guys, another day. We got our door speaker in last night, and we have got our line drawn for the door speaker on this side. So I guess we're going to go ahead and start cutting this one out and getting ready to install the passenger door speaker. And then we will probably move on to trying to get some. I think I'm going to try to put a couple of speakers, little small speakers, on each side of this. And that way the dash kind of has something. Alright, we have our other door speaker cut in. Got a wire running up through the dash. So we got that one done and ran. We got this one done and ran. I think it looked pretty good. I would have rather put them on the front doors right here, but I'm going to have dash speakers, so I want them to go as far back towards the back as possible to spread the noise. And plus I don't want someone accidentally hitting their heel on the speaker. See, with this, there's your foot. It's kind of back here. It'd be hard to hit. So, get a little more protected. Let's go ahead and locate some speakers to do the dash. And then I'm debating if I want to do 1 or 2 10s behind the seat. I'm not sure. There's not going to be an amp, but it'll beat a little bit if I hook it up to the stereo. So, let's get some some dash speakers in here. Built this console, and I really like it. Didn't want to put the speakers in the dash. It just really wasn't a place for them. There's a spot like right there, but for these speakers to hold, I had to bolt them in or strap them in, and I just figured they'd vibrate. I didn't want to deal with that metal on metal sound, so ended up doing this console for some cup holders. Stained it. I don't know if the CV will fit there when I get the dash, but we'll find out. If it don't, I'll have to relocate it, but for now that's where I have it. I think it looks pretty good. And then we got our 2 little speakers right in there for stereo. So we're going to have our 2 door speakers, these 2 speakers, and might add some more speakers. But for now, we're going to come in here and take out the headliner so I can make it look better than it does, because right now it looks like crap and I want to fix that. area surface prepped and painted already with one coat. We used some interior house paint that I had. Since it's going to be in the interior, it should last for a little bit. Trying to roll it to get the lines out and create that pattern look as it should have, and then we'll clean the rails and wait for this to dry, put everything back up. In the meantime, I found a brush, so now we can urethane the door panels and the center console. So once we get this painted up, and probably gonna let it dry for a few minutes, put a second coat on it. Once I put a second coat on it, then we'll go ahead and urethane our door panels and such. Alright guys, it's like 1:04 in the morning and I'm still out here working on it. We got our door panels coated with urethane, like 4 coats per each door panel. You can tell how glossy they are. And then we did the stained and urethane the console. So waiting for it to dry up, we can put our stuff back in there. And yeah, it's looking good. I really like how everything turned out. I like how this actually has padding up there. That's perfect. I didn't think it would, but it actually does. We also have our second coat on this. Waiting for it to dry up some so I can put on a third, get it nice and white. And then we're either going to put this back up in here tonight or tomorrow, depending on how long it takes to dry. Otherwise, it's looking good. A lot better than it did. Not chipping or any of that crap. And it'll do for now. We're thinking about doing some kind of a plaid headliner later on. Maybe do the armrests and some plaid with some cushion and a couple other things, but for now it's gonna suffice and look much better. Alright guys, it's another day. Decided today was car wash day. We washed the van first, got it all nice and clean because it was really dirty. And then we moved to the Lumina, washed it up nice and clean. Sure is looking good sitting over there. Then I decided to pull out the truck and wash it. I actually worked some of that dent out, so it's not as bad. I got that crap off of the tailgate last night. All that sticker residue. She sure looks good out here, especially with the white wheels. Cleaned up nice. Couldn't wash the roof because I had to be careful because of the, no windshield problem. It sure is looking good. It's a good looking old dent side. The door panels and center console turned out nice and shiny. You can see that gleam on it. Let me turn on the light. Kind of help you see the shine a little bit. That console and that door panel's done. We're waiting to put the headliner back in. It's over here. But it is done, and we are ready to install it as soon as we get the truck back in the shop here. So we're probably about to roll this thing back in and then get ready to install our headliner. Alright, we got our truck back in the shop here and got our headliner in. So let's take a look at it. See how good it turned out. There's some door panels. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That looks good. The visors and everything are a little bit of an off-white. Probably just weathered compared to the new white. But I like it. It looks good. It'll do. So, headliner is done, and all we need now is in the interior is to hook everything else up, get the rest of the speakers ran, and carpet in the dash, and that cap for the steering wheel. So I'm gonna call it a night and come back out at it tomorrow. See you guys then. What's going on, guys? It is another day. Did a bunch of reading up on things last night. I'm pretty familiar with rebuilding starters, especially older ones with brushes. Specifically Briggs & Stratton, Kohler, Honda, you know, small engine starters. But honestly, the old 351 starter here really isn't much different, except the Bendix is slightly different. I've been through this starter a couple times, but there's a couple things that I neglected to actually take care of while in it. So I'm going to today attempt one more time to go through this starter and see if I can get it to work. If not, third time's a charm. This is my last try. But this time I'm going to go over it on camera, and I'm going to completely go through every bit of it, clean it, clean contacts, clean the whole thing out, re-grease it, put it back together. So with that being said, let's get into a starter rebuild. Alright, so I'm not going to speed through this clip. We're going to go over this little by little so you kind of explain how simple the starters are to rebuild and mess with. We're going to go ahead and start by taking our Bendix cover off the side. I'll show you how that works. It's just a 5/6 bolt on this Ford starter. Bolts off to the side here. There's the cover. I like to put my bolts inside the cover. There's a gasket that is not much of one anymore. Here's your Bendix. So it's actually one of the magnets on. You got magnets inside of here. There's one here, and one here. That's what these hold on, is the magnets. Now this is one of them. So when it power sends through here, it sends electricity to the magnets. This will suck shut, just like that. And that is your Bendix. So it'll come up to engage your starter, and as soon as you let off, it's going to let the energy off, it's going to disengage, and it's going to drop right back down. I think that's probably the best design. I like the simple hold stuff, but that is how the Bendix works. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start tearing into this. There is a pin right here. I'm actually going to run and get my little kit real quick with a bunch of picks and stuff in it, so I have little tools to kind of knock out some pins and stuff like that. Alright, these are actually my lock tools, lock picks and stuff like that from when I was a locksmith. But I like to use them for little stuff like this. A little ice pick, you know, is great. Little curved ones are great for things that you might, you know, have trouble getting to, or something small that needs to be pushed out. We're going to push this pin out, just like that. Take our Bendix, move it up, get that out. Now this ain't going to come out until you take the cone off. So let's take the cone off real quick, and then we can pop our Bendix out. Usually 2 bolts, but in this case there's going to be 3. We have 2 that run up through the starter to hold the cone on, and then in my case I'm going to have to take the electrode, or the connection bolt, out, because that's the only way that the bottom will come off. So let's pop that out real quick. Let's get this big long bolt out of here. Set that off to the side, that off to the side. Come and take our other long bolt off. Now our nose cone of the starter should come right out, just like so. Now you got a couple of washers and things that you want to make sure don't lose. These 2 pieces right here, that slides over the pin there, just like so, and give something for your cone to guide on without eating that pin, or, you know, knocking it off. So let's take these back off. Okay, so now that we're here, you can lift the Bendix and then your Bendix arm will come off. Now at this point we need 7/16. Just kind of tap it. Make sure it don't fly off. Persuade her off of there. And then there's your clip. Holds the Bendix on. Let's also put it in the tray. Then our Bendix will come straight off of the starter, just like so. And put that aside. Also, when you're in here, you want to inspect your gearing. Make sure that it's not really too worn. This one is kind of worn. As you see, some of the teeth are a little chewed up at the top, some a little deeper than others, but it's still usable. Would I recommend replacing that? If you got the money, yeah, replace it. In my case, I ain't got the money, so I'm trying to get the starter to live. Alright. Now, we have our bottom plate. It should slide right off. just like so. You have a plastic washer, or not plastic, it's like a paperish washer in the bottom. You want to make sure you keep up with that. It keeps the bottom of this from chewing up into the bottom of your starter plate. Now we're ready to pull out the insides. So what I usually do if I'm not gonna mess with the brushes is I usually find a socket that's big enough to go around this whole diameter, and I guess you would say, let's use this one for example. That's not the right size, but I use it, keep it tight against this surface here all the way around, and I just kind of slightly push it through. So what it'll do is you can pull your center of your starter out without taking the brushes off. You just kind of leave that socket in the middle, and then when you come back you can slide it back through. But in this case I'm taking the brushes out of this one, so just pop it out. This one's actually really easy to get the brushes back in versus other ones, so no big deal. Now this is what the inside of the starter looks like. You want to make sure your surfaces are clean and not screwed up. Ooh, that's a damn Hoosier. Uh-oh. That's a race starter right there, boy. I tell you what. Gonna have this thing spinning 9,000 RPM. Hoosier. Alright. So enough of that jibber jabber. This one is extremely worn. What had happened was this starter was full of dirt, and I didn't know it until it just seized up. And when I took it out, it was like pouring out the Sahara Desert in this thing. It was ridiculous. I actually do believe that there is a clip I still have that I didn't lose. It actually has the pile of dirt that I got out of this stupid thing. But we're going to take this thing completely apart. I'm even going to take the magnets out of it. So this needs to be cleaned. It is still pretty dirty, even though I've cleaned it 2-3 times. It's pretty gouged up from the dirt. I'm going to try to clean it the best I can and smooth this surface out the best as possible. But there you can see pitting in that. My nail catches it. Pitting in here, all over the place. Really, the starter's toast. But if I can get it to work just a couple of times, maybe to start the truck, just end the video, I'm fine with that. I know it's not something I can trust to, just take off and go somewhere. Unless I had an extra starter with me to put one in. But another thing we're looking at in here, it's not good, is our contacts there are exposed, and they're actually supposed to have a coating on it. You see it's actually wore off. And that's not good. So I'm not even sure I can revive this starter. I've tried twice, and twice I've failed. So some you just can't bring back. But I figured I'd take this opportunity to kind of go over the starter with y'all and let you know you can rebuild them if they're not too far gone. Like if you just got, a seized up a little bit and you just got some sand in it or something, that is, fine. You can usually clean those out, clean the contacts, clean the brushes, and they'll be fine. You can put them back together and they'll work. But in this case, this starter's pretty roached. Not sure it's going to come back, but it's still worth a shot. If it'll work maybe once, maybe twice, I'd be fine with that. But I would suggest if your starter is this bad, you probably want to replace it. So, with that being said, let's clean this thing up a little bit. At least these parts that I've got apart so far, and then I will continue to go on further about how to disassemble this more and check for things that need to be addressed and check to see if it's any good to even rebuild. So, wipe this down real quick. Yeah, it's pretty pitted up. I might try to take a file, clean it up a little bit. Wire wheel on the drill. Another thing you want to make sure that it's clean is this contact point down here all the way around. You want your brass showing. So, brass, copper, whatever it is. I'm not really a metal expert here. Coming from someone who welds. But I'm not an expert welder by any means either, so I never took a class on it. It's honestly just something actually my locksmith friends, Daniel and his father, taught me how to weld. My welds ain't perfect, but you know what? They're not bad. At least some of them aren't. Did make the brackets for its tailgate though, and holds up 650 pounds easily. So I'd say that's pretty good welding. Alright. That's pretty dirty. I'm gonna go through here with our drill, the old wire wheel, clean that up, because that surface is pretty nasty under that plate there. Even if I can't get this starter going, I'm going to use it, use it as parts. You know, the housing's good for sure. So, you never know what I might come across in the future. Might need it. That's a clean surface. Now we've got our little plate that goes over the back of that. Clean that up. Just kind of wipe it off. Don't want to damage it. Just want it clean. If it's caked on or something, I suggest maybe, you know, spraying it down with something. I probably wouldn't spray it with something that would eat paint or anything of that sort. Maybe an electronics cleaner. That's what I've been seeing a lot of other people using, was an electronics cleaner, which they do sell that at the part stores. It's in a can just like your regular part cleaner or anything else. I think it's a red can, OD brand maybe. Electronic parts cleaner. It's pretty corroded. those out. I'll clean those up to the best of my ability. Now we have our brush plate, I guess you'd call it. You've got two brushes that are grounded, and then you've got two brushes that are a positive charge. They're usually opposite of each other, so you've got your, or across from each other, I should say, not opposite from each other. You've got your grounds, they're always screwed into the bottom somewhere, or you're going to find them on a grounding point somewhere in the starter. Usually, typically, these Ford starters right here, always, they're right there. So, I do believe these starters vary the same to the 90s, I think. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure they went from to the 90s. I think 90s, early 90s 351s would have had this same style starter. But you got your negatives, you got your positives. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come through here, take my negatives to gently free up your, screws without stripping them. What I like to do is I like to put pressure on my screwdriver and then just kind of turn it to the right while tapping it, and usually it'll push that screw loose, like so. Okay, there's one. We're setting our tray. This one is a ground that is severely wore out. Look at those brushes. That is not uneven wear. That might explain why we are not getting a good contact. But regardless, still going to try to make this work. I don't give up to it. So, this side is just a ground for the, body of the starter to the brush. This side actually has a ground that runs into your power itself. See, there's another separate wire that grounds with this side of the ground. So, you want to make sure to hook that back up when you go to hook the starter back up. Don't forget that. It's not going to work. There we go. And comes free. There's your two ground brushes. And they are not worn the same. Look at that. I might have to try to mimic the wear on the other one. Looks like none of these are wore the same. Well, 3 are wore the same actually, and 1 is not. That is weird. Okay. It's probably because of all that dirt. Now we can pull our epoxy brush to the side. Pull our plate out. That is your plate that holds your brushes. Set that aside. Your parts pile there. Now you're down to contacts and positive brushes and your magnets. You usually got 4 magnets inside of there. If it is a Briggs & Stratton style starter or something that doesn't have the Bendix over here, and it is a Bendix that pops up with the speed of the spin, because those, fine, let me explain this a little bit. So, on the small engine starters, what activates the Bendix is the speed of the starter. Once you go to turn it over, the speed of the starter will kick the Bendix up, and when you disengage it, it'll just drop back down on its own. This one is a magnetized, so when you send that charge through there, like I said, this sucks down, and if you see, it picks this lever up here from down to up, and that's what sends your Bendix, those little two tabs right there, is what this rides on, just like that, and that's what sends it up and down. That's the only real difference with these starters, honestly. Otherwise, they're pretty much the same, different size. So, this one only has 3 magnets on the inside because your 4th one is your Bendix arm. These are not glued in. They are bolted in. 1, 2, 3. So, with that, we can bust these loose and take out. Oh, that's gonna be a fucking odd size, ain't it? Okay. I've got to locate that size because I think I might have one actually. Let me go see if I can find something like that. It is not. It's not a 1/4 inch. It's not a 3/8. Alright. I looked all over. I cannot find the size. I'm just going to clean around them best I can. So, I don't think I need to record that process. It's just a bunch of tedious cleaning and scraping. And I'll get back to y'all when I get it cleaned up. Alright. So now, time for reassembly. We're going to grab our starter housing. Blow it out. Just to make sure all the dirt's out of it. Now, come in with our bottom plate. Find out which position it goes in. That's it right there. Here's tabs for this to sit on. Keep our brushes out of the way for now. Now that this is in, we'll come in with our center. Now we will be pressing our brushes in place. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make this a little simpler. Let's go ahead and pop the rest of this together. So this just goes down on here, like so. Like so. Got these 2 pieces slide over. Got her. You want to go home. We got that piece in. I'm going to put a cone on. Make sure the spring rests with. Let me show you. I'll flip it around. Hold on. Back on there. This piece right here. So what you do is you just make sure that it's on that spring. Slide that cone down on there and hold it on. we'll drop our pin in it. All you do is put your... damn it. I gotta clean it too. Just wipe it on the pants. It'll be fine. Put your pin in. Line up your Bendix arm. And then it's on. So from here, now that we got that on, it'll hold all this in place. Make sure all your springs are in place. You want to make sure that they're opposite from each other. You want to make sure it don't fall either. Okay, get your screwdriver, come in behind your spring so you can pull it back. Then you will be able to should be able to, if I can get the right damn angle, drop these in place. Here's one, and like I said, you want to make sure you find the right spot to put them in. There'll be a spot for the cable to ride in. Like so. And you want to put them opposite from each other, or across from each other. Excuse me. The second time I've messed that up. So your positives, your positive lead brushes will be on across from each other on one part of the plate. Alright, now those are our two positive brushes. Then we got our negatives. Trying to get one started now. There's one positive brush, or negative, my bad. Getting twisted up here. For those of you that are scared to deal with the brushes, it's not a big deal. It's just all about finding the way to put them back. Alright, hold on. That wire, I don't like the way it looks. So I need to twist that one. And then put it down in there. It's got a better connection to that wire. Let's do our last one. Get our brushes in there. Beep beep. Such a weak sounding horn. Put this in here. Right there. This is our last brush. Come on. Going in the starter. Just like that. And there is all of your brushes reassembled in the bottom of the starter. Now, I'm not sitting here thinking this is going to work. It's probably not. This starter is garbage. I'm just kind of using this as an opportunity to kind of walk y'all through and show y'all how to rebuild a starter for yourself. If yours is weak, but still kicks over, there's a possibility that you can rebuild yours. Mine's junk. The possibilities of this working is very slim to none. But am I going to try it any damn way? Yep. Sure is. Now it should go. Use a spinner. Let's see if we can find a hole. Damn. I'm never that lucky. Okay. Now we just have our lead coming in. Our gasket is trash or garbage. And we're pretty much damn near done. Really, what we need to do at this point, there is a contact in here. It's almost like a points contact. You need to make sure that's clean. So, just like filing your points, you're going to file your points on your starter. Alright guys, it's actually starting to get dark on me out here. Y'all turn y'all around. It's getting dark. So let's get this put back together. I filed this point down right here, this little connection. Let's see if I can get y'all in here to see. There you go, a little peek of it. I'd use sandpaper, but I found one of the easiest things. I think you can buy a points file, but I am one cheap person, because I mean I'm always having to put my money towards bills and everything, so I'm kind of having to resource most of what I can. I'm a fingernail file. I don't use them for my fingernails anyway. I use a pocket knife. So, might as well use my fingernail file. Luckily I had one. So I just went inside and grabbed it and just put it in between the front end right there. And just file it down. But since she is done, filed, and ready to go, we're not going to put it on. We're going to test it with a set of jumper cables to make sure this thing works. So I'd hate to put it on and it not work. Let's go ahead and get our cover on here. And no, I do not have a gasket to go on it. It is what it is. You gotta push it down on each side, kind of collect it together so it'll go in these tabs to hold it down on this end. And then you put your screw in there. Now we can take this over to the front of the truck. Hook the jumper cables up to this battery, and this starter here, and we'll see if we actually have a working starter or not. Alright. Is our starter going to work, or is it going to fail us again? We're going to find out. So hook our jumper cables up. I'm going to say this anyway, but most people that are watching this should know. Black is negative and red is positive. If you don't know that, you might not need to be working on anything. But in case of these old trucks, don't just go by the color. You might want to do a little inspections, because people have been known to not put the right colors. So, that being said, I'm going to throw these over my shoulder so they don't connect. I'll zoom y'all out. So you can get my ugly face in here. We're going to check our voltage on our battery. Make sure we have enough juice to even power this starter. Red to red, black to black. 12.71, 0.72. 12.7 is just enough. 12 volt battery should at least be holding 12.7, 12.6. If it's holding 12.4, usually that means it's starting to go bad. If you know the solution, you can revive a battery as long as you catch it before it starts getting at 12.4 or below. Once it starts getting at about 12.4 or below, she's pretty much toast. You can use it until it's done, and then it's done. There's a cell inside of that is dying, but if you catch it before that, you can revive a battery. Ask me how I know. Alright, let's hook our positive lead to our positive spot on our starter. That's where your wire comes down from your solenoid. Oh yeah. Why is it doing that? let's get it off the metal. Let's get it on the ground. I might have a connection issue in this thing. It might be toast. Alright, with it on the ground, let's see if it does the same damn thing. If it does, we got a problem. And this starter's probably no good. No, I think it was just somehow grounding. Why would it ground through the body? Sure the wire's not getting hot. Sure it's not getting hot somehow. Alright, here's our telltale sign. Oh yeah, she ain't doing nothing. Well, my vote was right. No starter. Yep. She's a no-go. They don't hear the starter. The reason they say don't beat on them with a hammer is because it breaks the magnets inside of them. Once the magnets get broken into pieces, it'll bind the starter up and it's no good. No good. No good. That really sucks. We're buying a starter. I knew it wasn't going to work, but like I said, I was going to take this opportunity to go over it with y'all and show you why I ain't getting it running right away. This is the reason. I do not have the money for a starter right now. I need to get it up. So, luckily they're only about 70, 80 bucks. Get the next job, and I'll have me one. Till then, I think we're just going to have to cut this video, because unfortunately I need to put something out for the week, and I have nothing other than this I've been working on. So, unfortunately, this concludes this episode. Don't really have anything else I can do to it at the moment. And just waiting on parts. I'm kind of in a spot where I gotta drive forever to get something, or pay an arm and a leg, so I don't make very many trips up into city areas. So, yep, that's about it. I do believe she's gonna run. It's just I'm just lacking the damn parts. I was hoping to be able to rebuild that starter and just be able to kick it over a couple times, maybe get it to run and hear it purr, but the starter's just not gonna let us do it right now. Unfortunately, the starter said to end your video, so that's just it. It's an old one. Someone, I guess, drove this thing through a bunch of dirt at some point. I just got a bunch of dirt up in there. Is that from when we washed it, or is that just a leaky radiator? I don't know. I'm gonna go with possibly leaky radiator. But good thing is we got one sitting here. So, might have to put a radiator in it. This one looks to be good still. I don't think it's been repaired anywhere. At least it don't look like it. So, that's always a good thing. Daniel said it was a good one. He had it in his truck. He just decided to get a new one because he got that new motor, but that one's a metal one, so we might end up installing this. So, might use that radiator cap. A little old, but I think I can clean it up. Okay. Oh, that's dirty. Oh, it's got leaves in it and shit. Oh, man. I don't know about that. I don't know about that at all. I'd have to seriously flush that radiator out. But if this one's bad, I'm gonna have to. But enough of me blabbering, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and call this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Wish I could have got it running this this go round, but I'm pretty sure if I can get Daniel to get down here with the ignition switch and the solenoid, and then I get the starter, I'm sure we can get this thing running. It's really all I'm lacking at this point to get it to turn over. Plus, I'm sure that starter was the reason it wasn't turning over fast to start with. It was very slow. I think a new starter would be really good for this truck. Spinning over real fast. Fire it up, we'd be good to go. But until then, check out some of the older videos. Stay tuned for the newer videos. This week we were a little off track still because of my computer crashing. That situation was really screwed up because I lost a lot of good footage for this video and last week's video. But we should be back on track this coming up week. I'm working on a different computer and I have all my footage now. I'm just going to back it up on another computer from now on so I don't lose it. Check out the Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. Someone mentioned to me about selling the burnout rubber from the General, and I'm not sure about that. I don't know, maybe. If you'd be interested, let me know. I mean, it's kind of a thing I'm kind of laughing about, but you know, people do buy stuff. I could use it to, you know, fund a couple things around the shop here. If you are interested, let me know in the comments. I might sell like a bag of it for like a couple bucks, $5, something like that. Sign it. You know, something like that. Mail it to you. If I did, I ain't giving you a return address because I ain't got no P.O. box. But if you want some burnout dust, let me know. If not, I'm probably just gonna save it myself. Burnout dust from a lawnmower is kind of cool. That sounds good. Okay. We'll stay running. Rev it some more. Don't sound very happy. Either that, he's flooding it out. But oh, I'm tired. I really want to get this truck fixed. It's getting on my nerves. What part holding me up? I don't know what we got in store for next week either. I don't know if we're going to be working on this or something else. I guess you just have to subscribe and find out. And like I said, let me know if y'all want some of that burnout dust in the comments. If enough people want some, I might sell it. If not, it was just an idea. Because I could use a little bit of money to fund some projects around here. Heck, that could help me get the starter in this truck. So, yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to just get off here. I'm blabbering at this point. Like I said, like, subscribe, comment down below if you want to say something. Comment down below if you want some of that dust. Go check out all the other platforms where I update almost every day with updates on the videos. So you'll kind of know when things are coming out and what's going on behind the scenes. So till then, I'll see you guys on the next episode.